haul video with a combination of books and a little bit of merch as well. I'll go through my new releases that I picked up, manga, manhwa, and novels. And then I have 2 new series that I'm in the middle of collecting in full, so I'll share my progress with those ones. And then I have 10 new volumes of Danmei that I'll be sharing as well at the end of the video. As usual, I will have timestamps below, so feel free to use those to jump around to whatever interests you. So starting out, I have a few new releases that I'm so happy about getting. First is Tsubaki-chou Lonely Planet Volume 10. I love this cover. This is a shoujo series that follows this girl, a high schooler, who starts working as a live-in housekeeper for this novelist. After her father moves away for work to live at his work site, she is wanting to help her dad with paying off some of their family debts. Every release of this series, I just get so excited that we're getting closer and closer to completing it in the English release. I really love this mangaka. I love her art style and her stories, and I'm really excited to read this one once I complete it in my collection. I have read it in the past, but I'm not reading the volumes as each one releases. I'm waiting until it completes so that I can just do a full read through and just binge it, but this is one that I do like a lot. Next is Omnibus 5, so volumes 9 and 10 of Life Lessons with Uramichi Oniisan. I'm so happy to have more content of this series. I really like the main character. He is a working adult and is just very pessimistic and negative about life because of being dissatisfied with where he's at and what he's doing. But after we got Omnibus 4, I think a few years ago, Volume 10 hadn't released yet in Japanese, so I knew it was going to be a bit of a wait for this 5th Omnibus volume, but I'm glad to have it now. And then these color pages with some of the art from the singles. But the series follows this man who works on a children's TV show. There's a lot of dark comedy as he sees the irony in a lot of his day-to-day. It's a slice of life, and I think this is all new content for me. I haven't read ahead at all with the Japanese release, so I'm really excited to get into it. Another recent pickup was this Nendoroid from the series Yakuza Fiance Raisei wa Tanin ga Ii. I have been really excited to get this Kirishima Nendoroid, and I haven't opened it yet or set it up, but I think by the time this video goes up, I will have uploaded a short of this setup of his Nendoroid. So far, he's the only one from this series who's gotten a release. I'm really hoping that Yoshino will also get a Nendoroid so that I can have them together. I did order this one through Good Smile Company, and I think that this was like an extra retailer exclusive from ordering with them, but I haven't opened it yet. So when I do this unboxing, I'll find out. I just can't remember because with Nendoroids, I order them in advance via pre-order, and then I just kind of forget all the details. So happy to have this now and looking forward to getting him out of the box and set up so that I can put him on my Raisei shelf. And then a couple BL merch items. So first is this clear card from Aloha Comics from the series Here You Are. Here You Are is one of my favorite series, and I'm so happy that it got an English release. I have been really happy with the hardcover volume releases, and Aloha recently announced the merch release of a bunch of different little merch items, acrylic standees, prints, keychains, clear cards. So this is the one item that I had to have. I didn't go all in because the merch items were kind of expensive, and then the shipping was expensive as well. So this was my favorite item that they had listed from the scene in the university when Huan is playing piano, so I just really wanted to have this. So far, we have 2 volumes of the series, Here You Are, and volume 3 is up for pre-order already, but it's a university romance series. I think it's gonna be 6 volumes is what they said on Instagram, and they said they were gonna include the side stories with the print release, so I'm just waiting patiently for the next volumes to release. I do really love this story and highly recommend it. And I'm happy to have this little piece of merch in my collection now. Next are some PCs from the series Paws and Claws. So recently, a friend gifted me her duplicates of the photo cards from Paws and Claws. And I was just missing 3, and I wanted to complete the set just because I was only missing 3. So I was able to get a hold of the 3 remaining photo cards that I was missing. And I'm happy to have them now. I just read this series about a month ago, so I got the photo cards and I hadn't read the series yet. So I was like, I just need to bump it up on my TBR so that I can know who these guys are and understand what's going on with the premise of them being dogs. So I did read it. I caught up to, I believe, season 1. I think season 2 has been serializing in Korean, and I think the main story just ended. I guess I should check. But I think with the English release of the chapters, it has ended season 1 and we're waiting on the season 2 chapters. But I did really enjoy this one. I really like both of the main characters. So this guy turns into a little tiny cute white puppy. Whereas this guy is a very ferocious wolf. So enjoyed the story, liked the characters, really like series that have kind of crime or gangster settings, and this did in fact have a crime group kind of setting, and I liked that a lot. So I'm glad that I got the full set of photo cards now, and I am actually missing 2 photo cards still, but those were from a merch release rather than from the blind photo card packs, so I'm gonna have to look into those as well. And then I got a little merch item from a friend. Thank you, Summer, for this adorable little keychain charm. So this is from the series Candy Color Paradox. And it is so cute. It's like a little shaker and it's like a little candy packet. The title of this series is here in, I think, transliterated from the Japanese title, but it's so cute. These are the main characters in their chibi form. They're so cute and they're like drinking boba or something. But so happy to have this because I do really like this series, Candy Color Paradox. It is a BL manga that follows these 2 guys that are both journalists working for a gossip magazine or paper, gossip paper. One of them is a photographer who works closely with this guy who is the writer, and he will write the articles and he will take the photos for them. And they just go around trying to catch scandals and report on them. So I've really been liking this series. I've been following it for a while. The story was kind of paused for a while after volume 6 because the mangaka had another series that she was working on that was also serializing. But that one came to an end. The series ended and she's been working on Candy Color Paradox again. I believe volume 7 of Candy Color Paradox is already up for pre-order in Japan. So I'm hoping that Sublime will be quick about getting it translated for us in English as well, because I'm really excited to get the content past volume 6. But I'm really happy to have this little merch item because I don't have any merch for this series. So I have the 6 volumes in English plus the bonus kind of anthology of all of the extras that are related to the manga. And then I have the mangaka's fan book, which has color illustrations from all of her series, and then just some extra little sketches and little comics from the series as well. So these boys will be going on my shelf. Okay, back to the books. So next, another new release was this volume 3 of Sword Art Online Aincrad. I haven't read any of this yet. We have volumes 1 and 2 as well. But this is my favorite arc from Sword Art Online because I really like the anime. And I'm really glad that they did the Aincrad release because there was a release of Aincrad that was in a different art style and I didn't really like it. I like that this Aincrad release has the kind of different art style that is more close to the anime character designs. So planning to wait until this one completes. I think it's complete with volume 4. So once we get that one, I'll just make sure it's completed and then I'll do a binge read of it. But this was an early anime series that my husband and I watched when we first got into anime and manga. So I'm looking forward to reading the manga adaptation. One more new release, and it is Solo Leveling, volume 12. And this is another one that I'm not reading the volumes as they release. I'm waiting until either the physical release finishes or until it's closer to the end of the story to binge it. I have read this one digitally and I like it a lot, so I wanted to have it in my physical collection, but then I don't really want to read it again from the physicals until I can binge it because it's just a really action-packed story and I don't want to be left at the end of the volume waiting for the next release. So patiently waiting to get started, but this is one that I've been so happy with the spines, just like apart from the one volume that is like yellow on the spine, all of them have been kind of like a purple blue tone, which I really like the aesthetics. So gradually collecting this series and looking forward to it completing so that I can do a binge read. Next, I have a really exciting upcoming novel release that I got an advanced reader's copy to be able to read it ahead of time before the release and make a review about it. I was sent the promo kit that came with some extra little merch items too, so I was really excited when I got that in the mail. I did post a YouTube short when I got this in the mail to share all of the little goodies that came in the box with the novel, but then I did read the novel right away because I am a fan of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, the webtoon. Last year in 2024, I did a full binge read through of it, and at the time it was through chapter 200 on webtoon, so I just read the whole thing 1 to 200 and really, really enjoyed it. So I was really looking forward to getting the novel and kind of seeing how it compared to the webtoon as the source material. So immediately upon receiving this, I read the novel, and while I read it, I had the webtoon open, and I would kind of, every chapter I finished of the novel, I would scroll through the webtoon to kind of compare them, and also because I really like the art of the webtoon. But I've found that with novels, I really like the extra nuance and the details and the descriptors that are not always adapted into manga and manhwa and webtoon form. So I loved kind of getting that extra little detail. One of the things I really like in the novel is that, similar to how in the webtoon, whenever there are alerts and messages, it will show a glowing blue box with the text inside. And I liked that they kind of did a similar formatting in the novel so that certain things would stand out with these gray backgrounds, like whenever the constellations are weighing in on things, whenever there's a new scenario, these boxes will pop up. And I just found that to be a bit engaging so that it kind of stands out as different from the dialogue and the narration. So looking forward to getting into more of the novel as the volumes release. Based on the amount that's covered in here, in this first volume, I believe that the novel release is going to be somewhere between like 20 and 25 volumes, which seems like a lot, but this one is only like 250 pages. And I've been really getting into Danmei lately, and a lot of Danmei volumes are like 400, 450 pages. So I'm kind of just like imagining it as a 10-volume Danmei as far as length. So that makes it not seem quite as intimidating. But especially compared to the manhwa release, the physical release, when I was kind of calculating the physical release amount of content in the volumes compared to the webtoon release, the number of chapters, then comparing that to the Korean novel release, the completed number of chapters, I think the manhwa physical release is going to be like over 50 volumes. So it is a bit less intimidating for me to imagine having all of the novel in my collection and having the space for it and the finances for it. There is more information here in this little info card that they sent. So I did get an early copy of this. So the official novel will release in July 22nd. And this is what the cover is going to look like. So this was just for the early release, but the official release of the novel, volume 1, is going to have the same art as the Korean physical release. And then it's going to have like a window cover where there's a gap cut out in the cover, and then this illustration will be underneath as a color page. So I love all the detail that they're putting into it, and I feel like this novel is going to be a really nice release. So looking forward to it. And I'm realizing I did not even say the premise of this series for anyone who has not read it yet. So ORV, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, follows this guy who is a working adult in his late 20s. Since his teenage years, he's been reading a web novel that has been pretty unpopular, and he, for many, many years, was the only reader based on the viewer count. But he's stuck with it and been a big fan of the web novel as it's kind of helped him through some hard times in his life. But then now, as an adult in his late 20s, this series abruptly ends. And then the next day, the events from the web novel start happening in his world. And because he's the only one who's read this web novel, he has a bit of an upper hand to survive and try to remember what happened in the story so that he can use that information for his life now. But it's a really good story. It's really rewarding as a reader because everything that he's capable of doing, all of his successes in the challenges of this new apocalyptic setting, are all because of his identity as a reader, and I really love that. But the series does have a bit of gruesomeness because there are a lot of life or death situations, and people are desperate. But in combination with the gruesome scenes, there are also sections that are really funny. Like the main character is really funny. I really like him, as well as several other characters in the story. But I'm just really excited about this release, and I'm really looking forward to the volume 1 release of the novel, but then also just, I'm already ready for volume 2. But excited for this one. Next, I have 2 volumes from the Naruto novels. So Itachi's story Midnight and Kakashi's story. So I already have Itachi's first novel, and I have been looking for this one and finally got a copy of it. I have read it already. I've been going through reading all of the Naruto novels digitally and then just picking up physicals of the ones that I like the most. So the 2 volumes of Itachi's story have been my favorite Naruto novels. I've really loved them. Just like I mentioned with this last novel, I just love all the extra detail, the nuance in his personality. When you get to see his inner monologue and just the pain he's in and the distress, trying to make decisions that he thinks are best for people while weighing his moral conflict. But really happy to have these ones now. I do also already own the other Kakashi novel. There are 2 Kakashi novels that I know of. I think it's just these 2. I haven't read this one yet, though. So I read the first trilogy. That was Itachi's story, and Sasuke's story. And then I read the second little trilogy. I'm calling it a trilogy because only 3 have released from that kind of mini-series in English. I think there are 3 more. I forget what that mini-series is called, though, but the ones in English were Kakashi's story, Shikamaru, and Sakura's stories. And then there are 3 more that we don't have in English yet. I can't remember 2 of them, but one of them is Gaara's story, so I'm excited to get that one eventually because I really like him. But I have that other Kakashi novel. I didn't particularly love it, but I just wanted to have it for the art on the cover and the inside color art because Kakashi is one of my favorite characters. And then I preemptively bought this one before reading it because I just wanted to have this cover illustration. So planning on reading this one soon, as well as I think 2 others in this series. I think there's one of Naruto and then one of Sasuke. I can't remember. I have them. I have the ebooks on my iPad. I forgot to open this one. I just really like this one's so good. But I definitely would say if you're a Naruto fan and you're not really into novels, Itachi's story is really good. It's only 2 volumes if you just want to read the 2 parts of his story. It's only 2 volumes, and it goes like a deep dive into Itachi's childhood and his motivations and how he felt during every single thing that he did. So really happy to have these now. And then while I'm talking about Naruto, I got one other merch item, or two merch items, and they're from the Naruto card game. So in my last haul video, I shared 4 other cards that I had picked up, and these ones were on the way. So these are the ones I've been the most excited about since I found out about this card game. I really wanted to get these 2 cards, but I was kind of anxious about getting them because they're kind of pricey. But I had a treat yourself day and went ahead and ordered both of them. I love the detail, the holographic detail on the flowers, and I love that they're matching. So Iruka is my favorite character in Naruto, and then Kakashi is next, and they also are a ship that I've been obsessed with ever since reading Naruto last year. But I'm so happy to have their matching cards. They look so good. I'm so happy, and I don't have anything else to say really about it. I'm just like, ah! So happy to have these now. I've been keeping this on display in front of my Kakeiru fan books because I have a couple different Naruto sections on my shelves. So I have their more action themed cards on my actual Naruto shelf with my volumes. And then this one, since they're with flowers and matching, I just wanted to have them with my doujinshi. But I mentioned this last time too. I got these magnetic acrylic frames, and it basically is just 2 little acrylic blocks with magnets in them, and they just kind of hold whatever you put inside, so like for photos and prints. But I wanted to use them for my trading cards on display too because it just looks so clean having these on the shelf, just kind of like in a floating frame, rather than just being like in top loaders, just kind of propped up against the books. So I've been super happy with this display. Okay, so now into the 2 new series that I'm collecting. First is Bleach. So I've been gradually reading through Bleach the last couple months. I think in April, I got into Bleach and read through the first couple arcs. I think I read through, I don't remember which volume I read through, but I read into the Arancers arc and kind of paused there. Actually, now that I mention it, I remember I paused at volume 35. So I've read volumes 1 to 35, and I really like the story. I really like a lot of characters. So my favorite character so far, I'm trying to see if he has an illustration on any of these. My favorite character so far is Kenny. I really like him, but then I also really like Renji and Ichigo. So I'm really excited to continue with my read through. So in April, I read volumes 1 to 35, and then it's the first week of June right now. I took a break from Bleach in May because I was trying to finish Fairy Tail, which I did, and I enjoyed it a lot. But now that it's June, I am aiming to finish Bleach, so volumes 36 to 74. But I decided I wanted to pick up the omnibus volumes because I really like the story and characters, but then also I love the look of the omnibus volumes. So this is kind of the color scheme of them. They're also red spines mixed into, but I love the way they all look together. I've been reading on the Shonen Jump app though, and I'm gonna continue on the Shonen Jump app because I don't have all the volumes yet. And I didn't order all of them, actually. I ordered the first, I think the first 8 omnibus volumes because they were on sale, and then I ordered the last 5 omnibus volumes because I had a coupon. So I think I'm just gonna read on the Shonen Jump app until I get to the content that's in the last 5 omnibus volumes, and then I'll switch to physical. But all the ones in between, I just haven't ordered yet because I'm hoping that I can find them on sale somewhere. I don't want to pay full price for them. I would rather wait for them to go on sale and then kind of bundle that with a coupon so that I can get them for a good deal. But the reason I'm ordering all of them, even though I'm still planning to continue reading digitally, is because my husband is going to read it once I finish, or once I complete the collection, actually, and he prefers reading from physical books rather than from the digital release on his phone. So I'm really excited for him to get to experience this story too. And I really hope that I love the rest of the story and where it goes from what I've read so far. But so far I have a couple, so let's see. I have 3 of the early omnibus volumes, and then 3 of the later omnibus volumes, but I like that the covers and spines are more colorful than the singles. So the singles are just white with the character, but then the omnibus volumes have color backgrounds and kind of zoom in on the characters, and they just look a bit more dynamic in my opinion. And then since they're 3-in-1s, the 2 covers that aren't featured on the front cover of the omnibus the art is featured on the back cover. And then these ones, I don't know these characters yet because I haven't gotten this far. And then the last one is a 2-in-1 because the series ended on 74 and not 75. But yeah, so I'm excited to have these now. And I'll probably just be gradually having more of the volumes trickle in as I put in new orders. So excited to be adding Bleach to my collection. I recently redid all of my shelves and I left 2 shelves empty for Bleach. So it's kind of exciting now. I have 2 bookcases next to each other, and then the top half of both bookcases, one side I have all of One Piece, and then one side I have 2 shelves for Bleach and then 2 shelves for Naruto. So I have the big 3 together, and then kind of sprinkled in with those, I also have JJK, Durarara, and Kaiju. So the next series is Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I picked up the whole series. So it's 14 volumes, and I got the omnibus volumes, again, 3-in-1s, and then the last volume is a 2-in-1 because it ended on volume 14. But I got this one for my husband. So he watched the anime and enjoyed it and wanted to read the manga that the anime is based on. I watched some of the movies with him, but I didn't watch any of the anime, but I thought I wasn't gonna really like the art style of the manga, but it's not bad. So actually, I'm really looking forward to reading this since I kind of watched some of the anime movies with him. But I think, I'm not really sure because I know that the anime series is different from the anime movies that were like a remake with, I think, a different ending. But I heard that the manga is different too and has a different ending from what's in the anime. So, I mean, I don't even know the ending yet because I haven't watched all of the anime movies yet, but I am planning to read this at some point, but these were a gift for my husband, so they're going to go on his shelves, and I'm going to let him read it first because they're his. So I will wait patiently and eventually get to these ones as well. Okay, and the rest of my haul is Danmei. So I recently made a big order of 10 volumes of Danmei, and I finally got them in the mail. They are all titles from a publisher in Canada via Lactea, and I'm really excited to read all of them. So I've only read one of them so far. So I'll just go through by series and show some of the details from the releases. So first is Salad Days, which is a 2-volume Danmei series, and it was kind of cool. The release of the series came with like an omnibus dust jacket. So it really is a dust jacket, and then it just fit around both volumes. And it had foil details on the spine and, oh, not on the spine, on the cover. And then on the inside, just little extra content, some extra little art, as well as an interview with the creators. But I really like the cover illustrations. The material has this, I don't know if you can tell, but it has like a shimmer to it. But the story follows 2 boys, and they really are boys. Like, these covers are gorgeous, but through most of the story, they're young boys. So it follows this guy here predominantly through his childhood. I believe through all of volume 1, he's an 8-year-old. And then volume 2, we see him through his teenage years and into early adulthood. But the story follows his journey with ballet. He's from a small village and they survive on farming, but his parents see him take an interest in ballet when they go to the city. So they support him and encourage him to pursue that. And near the ballet studio is a boxing gym where he meets this other boy who is a boxer. And then they form a friendship that lasts through the next decade as well. So while this is a romance between these 2 characters, and there is spice in volume 2, it's more of a coming-of-age story that follows the main character pursuing ballet and just his journey. It's a very low drama, low angst, just a really feel-good read, and I did enjoy it. And so I wanted to have it on my shelves, and I love this little detail, the silhouettes of a dancer and a boxer. So the physical release is super nice. And then this next one, Silent Hearts. I haven't read this one yet, so I don't have very much to say about it other than this is a 2-volume series by the same writer as Salad Days. And it follows these 2 boys in high school. And from what I've seen and what I've read, it also is another low drama, feel-good read. And I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm planning to read this one this month. I didn't get any extras with this one or with the other ones really, but this one is a nice release with French flaps. This publisher just has really nice quality books. And I forgot to share the Salad Days one because it came with that like omnibus dust jacket. The single volumes didn't have French flaps, just regular. But I really like the character designs on the cover illustrations, and that's been making me really excited to get into this story and to meet these boys. So Silent Hearts. Next is another completed series, and this one is 3 volumes, Soul Vibration. And I'm excited to read this one too. I really like modern day set Danmei, especially when it follows adult characters. So the last 2 Salad Days, they literally are little kids until the end of volume 2. But it was really heartwarming. I really liked that one. And then Silent Hearts follows them as high schoolers. And I'm still looking forward to reading that. But this one follows adult characters. They're both musicians. I just found out recently that this one has a manhwa adaptation. And I haven't read it yet, but I saw a little bit of the art for it, and it's so different from these covers, but I'm kind of looking forward to reading the manhwa after I finish reading the Danmei. But all I know about this one is a very basic premise of one of these guys being a singer-songwriter who finds out that he has a condition that is going to cause him to go deaf. But then he meets and has some kind of relationship with this other man who is also a musician. So I don't really know what to expect from this one. I'm excited to read it though. But these covers are gorgeous. I love this little flap. They have a lot of interesting design choices, like opening up like this, but gorgeous art. And then a French flap here on the back. I'm excited to read this. I feel really motivated to read the stories that have really gorgeous cover illustrations, because like these are all text stories, Danmei's novels. And so I just like, I'm gonna envision these guys while I'm reading, so I'm excited to meet them. So Soul Vibration. And then the last series is Lip and Sword, and this one too has a really interesting design to the release. So this one is completed as well, 3 volumes, and I love the way that these spines look, but they are all in little slip covers that open from the center. So this first one, and then again, just it has a shimmer on the cover illustration, which is super nice. These volumes just feel so deluxe. But I don't know anything about this about this series. All I know is that it is set in the modern day. I did actually read the premise before I bought this, but it was just kind of like vague enough that I don't really remember what it's about, but it intrigued me enough that I wanted to buy it. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so the synopsis says, one of the characters pursues a career in journalism to discover the truth behind his father's mysterious death in prison and to clear his name. As he investigates, he's forced to accept the help of the other guy. So I'm assuming this is the journalist and this is the other guy, a rich, powerful, and heartless man. So, yeah. But that sounds right up my alley, just from that very basic premise. And this one too, I like the character designs on the cover. This mysterious man that they're watching. And even this, like, this material here, like, I'm trying, yeah, there you can see it a little bit here. It's like really soft and like kind of grippy a little. But I like this. I like the slip covers that the aesthetic of them is totally different from the actual book covers. So I feel like I'm getting like variant covers kind of from them. But as you can see, a lot of my books from this 10-book haul of Danmei, a lot of them came damaged, and I was really upset about it when I got my order in. But I was able to kind of get things resolved with the distributor, but I'm just happy to have them. This is again, a publisher from Canada that I would have had to pay international shipping for these 10 heavy volumes. So I was able to at least get these from a US distributor and at a pretty affordable price, but it just really makes me sad to see this. But so this one is Lip and Sword, and I'm excited to read it. I'm planning to read it sometime this summer. I'm not sure when yet, but I have a long list of Danmei TBR now, and I'm so excited about all of it. I'm really glad to have gotten into Danmei recently and found so many titles that seem like they're going to be stories that I'll enjoy. So this is everything from my haul this time around. Just like with my last haul, just kind of a variety of like manga, manhwa, Japanese novels, a Korean novel, and then these Chinese Danmei. A lot of what I pick up is usually what I've already read and liked, so then I want to add it to my physical collection. But I'm really excited with this haul, especially with the Danmei, that I have a lot of new books now and new content that I still have left to read, as well as my new releases of these ongoing series that I'm just picking up with each release. But really excited about all of this, really excited to get everything organized on my shelves. I hope you enjoyed watching as I went through all of these series and kind of tried to talk a little bit about each one. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video.